Good afternoon. Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good, thank you. Just sharing the
Busy
live
morning?
quickly. There we go.
Yes. Awesome. We had a busy busy morning.
Yeah, busy answering WhatsApps and emails and making little bookmarks for the book club's book box this month. So
They
yeah,
look
it's
so
been fun.
cool.
Yeah, they're quite cute.
Nice and
I have it
nice
here.
variety. That's so
Yeah.
sweet. Definitely stands for what we're about is like the book hive and love and support and being a
Yeah.
hive. Which is nice. Yeah, I mean my morning's been also doing the same and trying to set up a printer.
Yeah, you have to set up all your technology now.
Yeah, it's been fun.
I can imagine.
But I'm getting there slowly but surely. It's going to be nice to be able to print out my work and do editing on it.
Yes, it
I
definitely
find it a lot
helps.
easier. Yeah,
Yeah, and then you don't have to sit in front of the computer to do it either. You can go sit in the garden or in the living room. So
exactly.
I quite
Yeah.
enjoy printing my manuscripts out. I've got a whole stack of them that I've gone through editing with, sort of keeping them as keepsakes.
Exactly. As it, what printers can smell your fear, I'm convinced.
Yeah, no, they can.
I
They
think
can.
it does because this one, it's got a mind of its own, put it that way.
Yeah, and
Um,
the newer printers are so complicated, so you really have to
yeah,
figure them out.
everything's set up, but now it's like flashing this light, and for the life of me, I can't figure out where it's. But anyway, that's for another moment in time.
Yeah,
But so it's World Readers Day and World
it
Happiness
is.
Day, which is like my favorite things ever. You know me, I'm all about
Yeah,
mindset, happiness, and um,
yeah. So
happiness is a funny
perfect.
one.
Yeah, I think it's such a perfect combination of the to have the two together, especially on our for our book talk crowd. But
Yes.
yeah, I think such a cool thing to celebrate together. And yeah, I didn't do what I wanted to do. I wanted to pull some of
What's
the
that?
books from the Hive out so that we can share some of the stories
Go
that we
for it.
have
Go
available
get
here.
some. Go get
They're just
some.
behind me, so it's not too far.
Okay. Good afternoon. Oh, good. Yeah, nearly afternoon. Good morning. I'm here
Yeah.
to say that you are the coffee I needed this morning. Oh, bless your heart. That's very sweet. Morning, Shanae. Morning, Andrea. Morning, Natasha. How's everybody doing? So I've got a few also. I've got a few South African indie author books as well. Um, but then I've got a lot on ebooks.
Yes. I've also got
So
quite a few ebooks.
yeah. And a lot of the actual physical books I've got has been from competitions or when I've had the extra funds to be able to get some. Um, so my recent one that I just got was Get Out and Stay Out by Siobhan Balmer.
Oh, yes, that I think is a great
Yeah,
read.
this is based on her truth. So all about her journals and stuff like that. So when I get a moment, I'm going to start reading that. But at the moment, I
Yeah.
don't have time. So
Yeah. It's like,
especially now, beta reading.
yeah, sorry.
No,
Yeah,
I'm so looking forward to beta reading.
so I'm also struggling to find a little bit of time to read because we're supposed to be doing this one for our book club this month. And I'm only up to chapter 12,
Okay.
which is about this far. There we go. So I have some catching
Oh,
up to do.
wow. Yeah, you do. Indeed.
But it's getting good now. Now is where the pawpaw starts striking the fan. So things are getting exciting
Ooh,
with that one.
that's going to be a good one for you guys to read.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I could read it, but I can't.
Yeah.
I'm just a wuss. So what other goodies have you got there?
Well, we've got, and I had these lying here because they are the book club books, but this is what we're reading next month for the book club, which is by
Yeah.
Gigi Fisher, The Locket. And this sounds like such a good story, which you will definitely be able to read, I think. So I don't know if you want me to read the blurb
Yeah,
and
please do.
get it out there. It says, when her grandmother passes away, Alison McCarthy, a reserved, self-reliant 16-year-old, flees the UK in a desperate attempt to escape the terrifying grips of the foster care system. Arriving in Kleinmond, South Africa, she begins a new life as a foreign exchange student, but Alison is hiding her true reason for being there. She's searching for her biological father. While staying with Marie Botha, Alison discovers that Marie's 17-year-old son, Philip, brings out feelings in her that she's never known before. When Alison is diagnosed with a critical illness, the search for her father becomes crucial. Time draws tighter with each passing day, and the only key to her survival is a locket that belonged to her deceased mother. Can Alison find her
Wow.
father in time? So, sounds like a beautiful
I
story.
can't wait to read that.
Yeah, and the cover is just so beautiful as well. It just feels so peaceful. Like you're going to find some peace at the end of it, which I really hope is the case.
And it's based in Kleinmond, which is like the next town to me, which is pretty insane. Because I know that area because we drive through there quite a bit. So it's going to be quite nice to actually read that book and then can see exactly how she based it.
Yes. And Shanae says that just one lie, she loved it. She was one of the ARC readers. And it really is very good. It's very well written. And yeah, Essie Hutton, who wrote it, like she really gets your heart racing. So I'm excited to see how it goes. And the feedback we've gotten from the book club as well has been only good things. So
that's
definitely
so nice.
One to look out for.
It's nice to see a book club that's like empowering South African indie authors.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's true. Michaela says that I love being able to visualize a place in a book. Like, hey, I've been there. Definitely.
Yeah.
I remember reading Wayne's book. We were chatting to him yesterday, and in the Shadow of Shadows was based in Durban, and just obviously quite far from Durban, being in Pretoria, but we often go that way for holidays, and to be able to be like, oh, I've driven down that road, or I've been to this beach and stuff. It just adds a whole nother level that you can connect to a book with, which is absolutely
especially
amazing.
if you're not great at visualizing either.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. So yeah, you've won some other books in competitions, haven't you, from local authors?
I do. Let me go get them.
Nearby.
Let me get them.
I'm just gonna have my coffee here while we wait.
So, it's pretty strange because I usually don't do well in competitions. It's like if there's something going, I'm not going to win it. But I was on a winning streak last year, and it started off with Melissa Delport.
Oh, that's a goodie.
So I got a signed copy from Melissa, and so I got this one, and then also Rainfall.
That's not one I've heard about. Who's the author?
Melissa Delport.
Oh, Melissa. Okay.
Yeah.
It must be one of her older titles then.
So this is kind of a book that's about a father who has Alzheimer's.
Okay.
So I'm going to find this very difficult to read because obviously my mom's got Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
But I believe books come to you at the time that you need them
Yes,
as well.
absolutely.
So the fact that I've got these two from Melissa is pretty awesome. They're completely different as well. Now, I'm not going to
Yes,
read the blurbs, guys, because I am rubbish at reading out
reading.
loud. I kind of
Yes.
stumble over my words like really badly, and it won't do any justice to the book. And then I've got one of our local indie authors, Sue Guthrie.
Yes.
So this is being redone, actually.
Yes.
So
It's
this
just
was
having
the
everything
original,
redone.
and everything is being redone, which is awesome because it deserves to be redone. So, but
Yeah.
this is a shout out to Sue. The story is unbelievable. It's really good, really good. And then I won, the last one I won was with Shanae and Simi, which is so cool.
Yes.
So Shanae, my reading journal, which is cool. And then with Simi, it's one of the Hexagon series books.
Yes. I
So
really need to
looking forward
read
to
that
that.
series. I've heard only amazing things about it.
Yeah, so have I. And then this one. So I've never heard of this author, but I love the fact that they've put this in as well.
Yeah.
So it's called Skybirds and Ravishers by Musa Kwesa.
Okay.
If that's
That
so,
sounds
it
interesting
looks
as well.
really good. It's something ate him alive inside that world. Okay, no, can't do it. The things jump. It's like,
We'll look it up.
It's like I get this. Yeah, no, just doesn't work. But what I'll do is I will post a link of everything that I have as well, so you guys can actually see what they are. So, but it's
Yeah.
just nice to be able to have some indie books, and I'm like
Yes.
kind of creating in my office a whole section for indie books,
Yes.
which is really nice because my husband's got his kind of like library from when he was like a kid. So it's full of sci-fi, fantasy, and it's stuff that stems back to like 70s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
So it's like this whole array, and you can see how the genres have kind of shifted, like
Yes, they've definitely
into
changed.
these subgenres and stuff like that. And I'm busy reading actually one of the books, and I think it was first published in, I want to say 80, 85, 87.
Okay.
But it's like a 1,000-page book, and it's sci-fi come fantasy, and it's
Okay.
incredible. I mean, it's incredible. I know this guy's name is McCrae or something, but it's really a mind bender. So
Yeah, I
I
think
will also let you know what that one is.
I think we often forget that there's so much hype being built up around new books, which is great for our authors who are currently trying to make a name for themselves. But there's so many of the older books that are so good. I remember last year reading The Magician's Guild by Trudy Canavan, which was published early 2000s. And I was absolutely blown away by the series and really enjoyed it. And I happened to buy the first book at a secondhand bookshop. I would never even have thought to look for anything by her otherwise. But it really ended up being such a good book, so well written, and yeah, so I think we need to be nostalgic sometimes and
I
just go
also,
back to the oldies.
but I also think that even as an author yourself, when you go and read these old books, it actually opens your eyes to different styles of writing, different ways of
Yes,
expression compared to
yes,
what it is now.
yeah,
Because I've definitely, when I was reading a couple of these books, I was like, okay, yeah, it's like people like diehard sci-fi guys love Doctor Who and
yeah,
stuff like that. Reading the
yes,
original Doctor Who's and stuff like that. It's like two different worlds.
it
So being
is.
able to go back and have a bit of nostalgia and also bring that into, I think like when I do fantasy, I'm quite a world builder, and I think that's
Yes,
quite old school. in a
No,
sense.
definitely. I was
Um,
about to say that I think the older authors
yeah.
tend to they 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 didn't rush the story. You know, they really lay it out. You can
Mm-mm.
get so lost in the world, and that's something
Yeah.
that I think we've lost a little bit, finding that balance between, you know, just
Instant
adding too much
gratification.
detail, but also not rushing the story
Mm.
and leaving too much up
Yeah.
to the imagination.
I think it's also having patience,
Yes.
and not rushing to the end of a book.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, my mom was terrible. She would read the end of the book first before she started it. That was her thing. And I'm like, why would you do that? And she's
Yeah.
like, I need to know if it's going to be a decent ending. Otherwise, I'm not going to read it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, fair enough, whatever. But I just think if we can still remember the old school way of writing, it's like Wayne was talking about Wilbur Smith last night. Now, I
Yeah.
remember my dad had every single book of Wilbur Smith. He loved that guy's writing.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, the old, remembering those things. It's like Stephen King and Dean Koontz still to this day has such a big audience
Yeah.
because it relates to every age of your life, in
Yeah.
that sense. It's not like it becomes dated, if
Mm.
that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Oh, here's
Yeah.
Siobhan.
Oh, yes, she
I
says, I
flipped the
flipped to the
last
last
page to
page.
read. Interesting. Okay. That is interesting. I've never known anyone who's done that. Like my mom, I've never known anyone who
Yeah.
reads the last page of a book. So that's really interesting. And also a great thing about Siobhan is today is the top 5 have been chosen for the Rising Stars,
Yes, that's
which is
exciting.
super exciting.
And it
And
was so
I'm
cool to
really,
see, yeah, it was so cool to see a couple of authors there whose journey I've been following for a few months now, where they're sharing about writing their stories, and there they are being celebrated like that.
yeah,
It
exactly.
was really
And
cool.
that's what it's about, right? It's about
Yeah.
lifting each other up, and because it doesn't have to be this closed gated community. We all
Yeah.
have a voice, and you could give 1,000 of us the same prompt, and every one of us will have a completely different version of it.
Yes.
So we shouldn't be scared of pushing out other people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's,
Absolutely. There's
I
space for
mean,
everyone.
definitely. I mean, today is about reading. Today is about happiness. And the one thing about happiness, and I'm doing this from my mindset stuff,
Mm.
is happiness is different for everybody. You can't buy
Yeah.
it. You can't buy happiness. It's like you'll have people that'll dream like, I'm going to have this big house and I'm going to have this lacquer car and this is the goal. But when they
Yeah.
get to that goal, it
What
quickly
then?
fades. It's not enough because they haven't celebrated that journey along the way, all those small
Yeah.
wins, and actually been mindful in the time that they've got leading up to that big goal.
Yeah.
And everyone has a baseline of happiness within them. I could be 80%, you could be 70%, someone could be 90%. And it's what we do to top up that happiness that
Yeah.
gives us 100%. But we can't buy
Yeah.
it. And I
No,
think
you're
that's what
absolutely
people also
right.
need to realize.
Yeah. And I think,
You-
yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, it's about the journey that you follow through to your goal. I actually watched a reel this morning, and I don't know who the guy was that was talking. It was at some graduation party, but part of what he was saying is he doesn't do big life goals because it takes you most of your life to get there, and you've slowly focused on this one thing your entire life, and then you get there, and then what?
Yeah, exactly.
So what he does
Yeah.
is he has little goals that he can achieve all the
Mm-hmm.
time. And while he's busy reaching the little goal, he's something else attracts his attention on the side, and it goes into his pile of little goals that he
Yes,
wants to reach. And at the end of it, he's
exactly.
accomplished so much more, and it's left him more
Yeah,
fulfilled because he gets to appreciate the the journey of reaching your goal instead
yeah,
of just the goal itself. But yeah, I
definitely.
think at the same
And
time, having big goals is also important, but that shouldn't be like your only thing. You need to find stuff that
yeah,
gives you joy.
So Shivana said, I find the skill is to be joyful during all the times in life. One can be sad but still joyful at the same time. 100%. Now, it's a swinging pendulum. You
Yeah.
know, you've got to keep on going in between the both and finding your sweet spot, because being completely happy 100% of the time or completely sad 100% of the time is not good. You have to
Yeah.
have the shade and the light. You know, you have to have that shadow that makes you remember that, you know, life is for living.
Yeah.
You know, I see it a lot in people with chronic pain. Myself, I live in chronic pain, so I can say this. A lot of people become victims to themselves, and
Yeah.
they will join these groups, and someone will say, oh, my pain is like a size 10 today, it's like really bad. And someone will come along and go, oh, well, mine's worse, it's a size 11. You know, there's
Yeah.
this competition, and it breeds toxicity within something where you should be giving each other just a gentle voice to be heard, you know,
Yeah.
and not trying to outdo each other, because what does that do? It just sucks out any energy you have anyway to try and fight whatever's going on in your life. You know, you
Yeah.
could be here with the most happiest, joyous person in the world, but you don't know what they're going through in the back of their life. You
Yeah.
know, they could be fighting a disease. They could have a parent dying. They could have a sick child. They could have money issues, you know, all of these things. So it's leading with kindness
Yeah.
and not sitting in that light and dark and, you know, constantly trying to victimize yourself. I think that's the
Yeah.
worst thing we can do as humans is do that to
Yeah.
ourselves, because it's
No, you're
no one is
robbing
better than
yourself of
anyone.
peace. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think also you
Yeah.
know, you talk about the swinging pendulum. All of us go through dark times, and some of our dark times are
Yep.
worse than others. But
Mm-hmm.
it's just so much highlights the good times so much more. When you get your
Yeah.
pendulum swings to the other side, you can have such a greater appreciation for the good space that you're in during that time.
Definitely.
And hopefully
And
garner some hope from that when the pendulum swings again.
yeah, I mean, it all helps us grow and evolve, and learn from mistakes, from things that have maybe the path that maybe you chose because you thought it was the best path. But
Yeah.
that's what being human is about, you know. And I
Yeah.
think also, you can't make margaritas without lemons. Indeed, you
Yeah.
can't. I mean, it's like even when we talk to a lot of the authors, how many of them they have the same insecurities, that they're not good enough, that one negative comment can just undo 100 good ones. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's getting people to understand that not everyone's going to like everything.
Yeah.
Lead with kindness. Don't be brutal. There's no need for it in
Yeah.
this world. We've got enough stuff going on in this world that we can't control, you know. So if you can control writing a review, maybe it's not your jam. Just think about what you would want someone to say to you when you're writing it. Do you know what I mean? Think, you know, talk to that person like you would someone you actually care about.
Yeah. No, I actually saw a really nice review this morning. I don't know if the author would also think it's nice. But so the reader gave the book 3 stars, and I won't name any names. But um the point of the review was that she really, really liked the premise of the story. But there were some issues that she picked up along the way. But the way that she brought it over was with kindness. And I feel like was very constructive. It was the type of thing that an author can go back to and say, okay, how can I do this better next time by applying
Yeah,
the feedback that I've gotten here? So while it's not a great review in general for the book that has been written, I feel like it was a very fair review and it was constructive. They weren't breaking down the author. They weren't tearing the entire story apart necessarily, but they were.
yeah,
It was just done really beautifully, and I think that's important because not everybody's going to like your book, and sometimes you need to have those
exactly.
criticisms to improve yourself as an author.
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right,
And
Siobhan.
as
Even a one-star review could be good and kind.
it's not about the numbers of stars, and that's exactly
Yes.
it. And I think people are too focused on having no stars because that's what society has put out there for us to relate
Yeah.
to say, well,
Yeah.
this is a 5-star review, 5-star hotel, 5-star whatever.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sometimes I don't have people leaving reviews, but they will come and talk to me and they'll say,
Yeah.
I really like it, or blah, blah, blah. And I think there's just too much hype against being 1 or 5.
Yeah.
You've got to look at, you wrote the damn book.
Yeah.
You wrote the book. And that is a huge accomplishment. Whether or not Joe down the road likes it or Michelle up the road likes it, do you like it?
Yeah.
Most importantly, do you like what you wrote?
Yeah.
Because not everyone is going to
Yes,
like
right.
what you write. They might not like your hair. They might not like what you're wearing. They might be having a bad day when they read the book. Do you know
Yes.
what I mean? It's
And I
like
mean,
when you read a text message.
yeah, you can interpret it so many ways.
Stats show that 3 stars actually
Oh,
have more
that's interesting.
conversions. I agree with that. I do agree with that. I think when people see like 5-star reviews, they're like, is it really?
Yeah.
People will accept more negative feedback than they will do positive feedback. And that's
Yeah,
in
because
all
then they
things
feel like you're
across
being
life.
honest.
Yeah. So, I don't think about this. I mean, I've had a 3-star review. They didn't leave a comment, but that is what they chose. And, and I've had 4 stars and 5 stars. To me, it doesn't matter. DNF
Yeah.
also have good conversions. Yes. And I must say, I have DNF some books.
I
And
also
it's
do.
not because I just don't have the time. If something is not flowing, I don't have the time to try and pull myself through it. It's the same as a movie. It's the same as
Yeah.
anything. If
Yeah.
I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it. And that doesn't mean that you're not a good writer. It just means
Yeah.
it's just not, maybe for me at this point in my time, and
Yeah.
it might be better for me in like 10 years' time. You know what I mean? Because you come with different
Yeah.
minds with regards to stuff.
I'm absolutely the same.
We
I
we
I
just,
want I read to enjoy, So if I'm
yeah,
not particularly enjoying the story for whatever reason,
yeah.
then I don't read it. And I'm very quick to DNF a movie as well. I actually very rarely watch TV anymore because I don't enjoy
Me
the kind of
too.
stuff that's coming out. So I just read
I
instead.
mean,
And I think that's healthier
if I'm
anyway.
if I'm having a really bad health day, the only thing I can do is listen to junk TV. I can't read.
Yeah.
I can't listen to audiobooks. I can't. I just need mindless something that's going to make me
Yeah.
laugh, and that's
Background
it.
noise
You know
almost.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And exactly. So, when people get all hung up on reviews, I wish they wouldn't,
Yeah.
because they still wrote the damn book. And it's
Yeah.
such
It's
an
so difficult
accomplishment.
because we're in such a culture of showing the best of ourselves, and people are so quick to criticize online. And
Keyboard
I mean,
warriors.
we've spoken about it so many times with your mental health workshops, that this is the culture that we live in now. Where, I mean, back when you and I were teenagers, for instance, we would never receive as much criticism as we do nowadays because you don't have the internet wide open into your daily life. You literally have the people you choose to surround yourself with. And I don't think the human psyche is meant
You
for that
can.
load of negativity, which is also why we're trying to make Book
Mm,
Talk South Africa, along with Siobhan Bolmer, a more positive space because it does
yeah,
affect people's
definitely.
mental health. But
I
I mean,
mean,
we
I don't
have
know if
tools. You've
anyone.
given us so many tools to deal with that negativity and shut out the criticisms
Well,
inside our heads.
this weekend's Sunday workshop is going to be a doozy. Put it that way.
So I'm excited
Yeah,
for it.
it is. It's. I've been picking up a lot of things over the weeks, And it's like,
Yes.
okay, we started with this and we started with this, and now it's like, okay, now it's this. Now we're doing this.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
going to
I'm
be good.
excited.
There's not going to be laughter. There's going to be a few tears, but it's so good to let it out. And the thing is, what comes across is everyone feels that they're being heard in a safe space,
Mm.
and that's all I want
Yeah,
for
it's
them.
important.
At the end of the day, is to feel. And I think the bonds that have formed with the people
Mm.
that join has really made a big difference for them. It's made an impact, which is it's
No,
become like a bit
definitely.
of a little community of I want to heal or I want to feel better about myself, and
Yeah, and
you
just being
know
supportive of each other.
it's
It's been amazing to see that.
exactly
I mean,
yeah.
just the amount of
But
the
I
members that have
mean
just gotten the courage to come onto a live, which they've never done before. They're actually camera shy. And how
yeah,
many of them have got the courage to do it now just because the community's behind them and urging them onwards and supporting them when they're online and that. So it's been very good to,
yeah. It takes a village.
yeah, absolutely.
It takes a village to make someone feel like their voice is heard, that they feel validated, and they can ask a question without feeling like they are being made to feel stupid.
Yeah, no,
You
definitely.
know, it's there's
So,
nothing worse than having that fear of having to ask a question that you think is the most stupid question ever. Yet the people that you're asking it to most probably asked the same question
yeah,
years and years ago.
no, definitely.
So
And people forget their roots, they forget where they started. But that's what's also, we've got some very experienced authors in the community that they don't miss a beat.
mm,
They answer the questions however many times it gets asked.
yeah,
So that's also been really, and it's so different from other writing communities that we've seen as well. The newbies often get shut
definitely.
down. But anyway, shall we share some more
Yeah,
books?
and please, please do.
Yeah, sorry.
We've got so many pretty books.
Yeah, so this one, sorry, they're all
Oh,
wrapped in
I
plastic
want to
because I don't
read
want them to
this.
get damaged. I actually think you would quite enjoy this. So this is written by, it's The Ending Prince
Okay.
by Tia Faree, and I beta read this one for her. Did I beta read it? Well, I read it. I can't remember if it was a beta read or not.
But I read it.
I did read it, and it's like an urban fantasy feel, but the world is quite different also from what we live in, but more urban fantasy than
Okay.
the medieval style thing a lot of fantasies tend to go to.
Okay.
But this book actually had quite a very interesting twist. Perhaps a bit of a controversial twist, but I feel like it was done quite well. So,
Okay.
um, where you've got a royal family that have adopted siblings in the family. Um,
Mm.
yeah, and there's sort of a love story that gets born out of that. Oh, using my earpods here.
Interesting.
But like when I initially heard it, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. But the way it was done
Yeah.
was quite brilliant, and I ended up really
Yeah.
enjoying it. And it's the first book in a series, and I know that Tia is
Ooh,
busy running with it at the moment. So yeah, The Ending
that's
Prince, really
exciting.
good. And we've got the ebooks as well at the local book house. So even if you don't have it in your budget to buy, look, this cover is stunning. Like to have this on your shelf,
Yeah, it's super
definitely a
pretty.
beauty.
It's super
But
pretty.
if it's not in the budget, there's the ebook as well, which is really cool. And she's got two options for her ebooks. She's got a fade to black romance in the one and a spicy version for the other one. So depending on what you
Oh,
prefer,
that's
you can
interesting.
even,
Okay.
yeah. She's
That's
like
really
me.
cool. That's a nice
She's
idea.
like me. Yeah, she's got nieces and nephews that also wanted to read the
Hmm.
story, and she obviously didn't want to give them a spicy version for kids. And so she actually went out of her way to write a fade to black as well, which I think is
That's
really
awesome. That's
kind,
really
actually.
cool.
Yeah. And then I've got an interesting story about this one, A Tale of Wild Geese by Rosalie Fox.
Ooh.
Now, if you know Rosalie Fox at all, she loves aviation and she loves history. So this is historical fiction set in the Second World War, but with South African characters. Obviously, the Second World War didn't happen here,
Mm-hmm.
but She
Yeah.
pushes South African flavor on it. And so I obviously scream about the local book craft to everyone that I know. And a friend of mine
Yeah,
who's
me
not
too.
really on social media, thank you, that she's not on social media, but she had, snooped around on the local book cart. And she says to me, she was at the
Hmm.
Aviation Museum here in Pretoria the other day, and she actually found Rosalie's books there. And she recognized them from the
Oh,
local
that's
book cart.
amazing.
So that's like a really interesting
Oh,
place to
that's
find
cool.
some fiction books to read. Yeah.
That's really
But
cool.
I know Rosalie's like very particular about getting her historical facts and that
Mm.
correct. And it just goes to show
Yeah.
the authenticity of the story is to such a degree that the museum has agreed to take it on,
Yeah.
which
That's
is really
it's a
cool.
real like yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a feather in her cap for
Rosalie
sure.
is, and you know what the interesting thing is, I mean, where Rosalie lives, I mean, it's like heaven. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Horses and goats, and it's like making cheese.
mountains.
It's like, what? And
That's
she's an
my dream
amazing
life.
artist as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
she
like,
actually, I don't know if you
seriously.
can see, but part
Yeah,
of the reason she's become an indie
yeah,
publisher is because she wants to draw her own covers. So this is her artwork,
yeah. It's
which is incredible.
her art is so good, you know, and the
Yeah.
fact that she's done it, she's written a book. It's like
Hmm.
it's all round, isn't it? Hey,
And it's a whole
Roxanne.
series of books too, so that's pretty cool.
Mm,
And then I feel like we do need to bring some non-fiction into the play.
yes,
So this was written by Natasha
definitely.
van Graan, Wings Made of Scars. Um, and it's a very helpful book. Actually, let me get its companion out as well. So it's a healing journey that she takes you on to sort of process past traumas and a lot of the stuff that you also do and have gone through. So this is also one that I really do want to read, and it's not a big book, so I feel like this one we could do
Yeah.
fairly well. I mean, working through the stuff, it might not be as quick as I anticipate, but and then she's also actually written a
It
journal
never
to go
is.
with it. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So this so a beautiful journal. It's got such a just a peaceful design on the interior as well, with
Hmm.
space to reflect and all of that. So yeah, it's really
Nice.
great. And I want to show this specifically as well, just to show people in general, like we don't just support fiction authors, and that's a
No, it's a
misconception a lot of people have, is that we're just here for storytellers, but really we want to support all the authors in South Africa. So whether you're writing fiction or children's books or non-fiction in any shape, or even in different languages, we're here for it. We're here to
yeah,
support you on that journey.
exactly. As long as you're a South African indie author, that's all that matters.
Yes, yes. And we wanna shout about you too. So and then I've got a
Oh,
few more now. Now
definitely.
Siobhan's already jumped off the call. These chickens behind me are
Yeah.
making the worst
I
sounds.
know, I can hear. They're like really going for it.
This is what they sound like when they're laying eggs, and then everybody's just like hyping the egg layer on.
A
So
little cheerleading team.
yes, yes. So Siobhan Balmer, I'm sure everybody on here has already heard of her, but there's a few things that I really appreciate about Siobhan Balmer's books. First of all, is that she likes Greek mythology and she works it into her stories, and that's always cool. But the way that Siobhan also like her stories all have a really strong underlying message, and so it's written from a place of healing as well, and helping people to process the similar stories that they've gone
Yeah.
through. And she also, the way she formats her books is ADHD and dyslexia friendly, which I think that's amazing that an author would go to that length
Yeah.
to make their
It's
books
definitely
accessible
needed.
to anyone. Yeah. So that's really cool. And her book's also so affordable. Like she really goes out there. She
It's
needs
really
people to
pretty.
read the book for healing as well. So
Yeah.
this one's actually a Medusa retelling, which I haven't read yet. I've read some of her other books, but this is definitely high up on my TBR for this year.
I
This
bet your
being in the
TBRs are the
local
best.
book hive. Yes, being in the local book hive and seeing all the pretty books and reading all the blurbs. My TBR is bigger than my laundry piles, which is a considerable. And then we have
Yeah.
to talk about this one as well.
Oh, goodness. Mm.
So this
I
one's actually
thought,
written for
damn, you're
you.
not going to say anything. It was.
No, no, I have to.
It was
No.
indeed.
So
Yeah,
this was actually based on some of your story. No, it's a fiction, obviously,
it
but
was.
your
Yeah.
story as well. And I feel like I got to know you so well by reading this one and its sequel, Hull. But such a powerful women's fiction story that's just so, it's like so poetically written as well. Just about a woman's healing journey after being traumatized and abused and almost forgotten. I feel like that was really Ella's story, was that she
Definitely.
was
That was,
forgotten, and she had to
yeah.
find herself. So this is a really powerful
It's
book. I don't know
it's
if you want to
it's
say anything about
definitely it's definitely a story. Yes, it's a woman's story. And what I've realized with people that have spoken to me about it is that it's unfortunately quite a lot of people's stories.
it. Yeah.
And it's also helped some people understand certain aspects that might not be their story, but they can understand other people's stories, and it makes them kind of realize, that there's certain aspects of why they can't maybe leave that person or they can't get
Yeah.
out of a situation. Um, and it's not just about the trauma and all of that. It's actually about as you say, healing, but also a friendship that gets formed and strong bonds, and realizing that at any age you can take the right path to choose how you want to heal on your
Yes.
terms. You might have had the worst upbringing, you might have had the worst type of thing happen to you, but it's down to you whether you're going to let that still be in a victim mindset, still let that control you now, or you're going to find a way to let it go. And that's
Yes.
what Isabella does.
And I
So
think, one
it's
of the things
powerful.
yeah, I think one of the things I so appreciated from both of them, from 50 Years Brave and of Held, was because there's a lot of books are centered around a romance, and obviously I'm guilty of doing that as an author as well, because romances are exciting. But just like you say, the
Yeah.
friendships that she formed was so beautiful, and it's just such a strong reminder of how important it is for us to surround ourselves not just with a romantic partner, but to have a strong group of friends around us that can help you on whatever healing journey you're on, or just to celebrate, because that was also in Hell. That was like the beauty for me, is the celebration that happened around these women, and just highlighting the fact that they are not what happened to them in their past, but they are who they are today, the strength that they've found, and the person that they've, that little girl before she was hurt is still in there, and she also deserves to
Yeah.
be celebrated. So I really
Yeah,
appreciated that
100%.
aspect of
And
it.
it's just a nice reminder. And I think a lot of people, if they see it, they think, "Oh, I'm not going to read that because it's quite heavy." But it's not heavy as in there's the shade and the light. It
Yes.
swings.
Yeah.
So, don't be scared of it because it
Yeah.
might
No,
open some people's eyes. Yeah,
definitely.
thanks for that.
No, pleasure.
No warning. As you can tell, I'm not the type who likes to talk about my own stuff.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's no,
okay,
that's a difficult
uh-uh,
one.
mm-mm.
I've got
Yeah,
one last one.
prefer to talk about other people's. Yours.
No, no, not
Love.
mine. I had plenty of time
No?
to speak about mine on Tuesday night, and it was very awkward. Thank you.
Okay,
So not today.
okay.
No, so this is Not Quite Meant to Be by Jane Crusoe, and
Okay.
she is just such a like vivacious, energetic, joyful. Like she's the life of the party. If you ever watched any of her videos on TikTok, okay, you'll usually find her on Rosalie's videos, not her own. But she just brings such a great
Mm.
energy to wherever she's speaking. And so this is also quite high up on my TBR. It's not quite meant to be, which is a cowboy romance, which is not something I've read before.
Ooh,
Even though I
okay.
do love horses. My grandfather bred with horses when I was a child, and I do really love them. I haven't ever had my own horse, sadly, but maybe one day that will change. But yeah, so you would
I
think
think
that I would
it's
be drawn to cowboy romances, but I haven't delved into those yet.
You see, I like them in like miniseries and like Yellowstone and stuff like that.
Mm,
So I'm sure as hell I know I'll enjoy that because I also raised it with horses and I had horses. So
yeah.
it's I just like the gentleness of it, but also the ruggedness
Mm,
that comes along with it.
yes.
It's not too far right and too far left. It's just got that
Yes.
nice, like old school feel, I think,
Yes.
when it comes to cowboy
Yes.
westerns. Yeah.
And the thing for me is also my life's ambition. My major life goal is to be on a farm someday. It's not for today, unfortunately, but we'll get there. And so I love reading stories where people are like not in the city.
Yeah.
That's like great for me. That's my personal preference.
Yeah,
So I think,
I can't do cities. Oh, hold
yeah,
on.
it's
I don't know what's going on.
uh, maybe the flat battery. Yeah, no, we live in the city
Can
out
you
of
hear?
necessity.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Uh, my my headphone went a bit funny.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I can't do cities. Did that. Did London life. Did Joburg life. Done. Well done. Totally done.
yeah,
I like living by the coast and having the mountains behind me,
oh,
and
yeah,
not the smell of petrol and noise and
yeah,
I deserve this quiet time at
yeah.
this
No,
stage in
you
my
do.
life. Especially
Yeah,
when
so
I
that
write,
for
I
me
need
as
quiet.
well. Yeah, you do. And I just
Yeah.
feel like city life is too rushed. Everyone's trying to get somewhere
Yeah.
quickly. And you're
Yeah.
right, Samantha. Living on a farm is busy, and I understand that because I have a small farm in I have what we lovingly refer to as a suburban farm. So more than
Yes.
half of our garden is vegetable garden, where we grow some of our own food, and then we've got the chickens that give us nice eggs. We've got the rabbits, and we've tried as far as possible. Most of our garden is edible, barring a few flowering plants that my husband and I both like. So we are farming in the city, and we get that it's a lot of work, but it's the rushed pace of city life that really gets to me. That and traffic. Like I
I
can't
think
stand traffic.
it causes a lot of stress. I know when I have to go into Cape Town, I'm like on high alert. I'm like, this
Yeah.
is just too much. It's too busy. The cars, people drive like maniacs. You know what I mean? I
Yes.
thought London was bad. Jeez, Cape Town going
No,
to
Cape Town is
Somerset
the
West
worst.
is horrendous. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and most of the time we've got like ceramics in the car that I'm taking somewhere,
Yeah.
and it's like something's gonna break, something's gonna
Yep.
break, and they just don't care. It gives me
Yeah.
so much stress and anxiety. I'm like sitting there, like holding myself. It's like, it's a car, it's a car, it's a car. I can't do
Yeah.
it. So
No, I also
I
don't like
stay in my
it.
little area, just walk down to the coast. There's not a lot of people. Thank you very much.
No,
Mm-mm.
that's great.
It's
That's the dream life.
just, got my herb garden. My herb garden is my little pride and joy and
Yeah.
my little zen. So, but
Yeah.
what a great happiness day and Reader's Day, you know,
Yeah.
to get everybody actually talking about reading, especially today as one of the big five has gone under for kids and
Mm.
young teenagers' books. That is a concern.
Yeah,
That
that
is a
is
big
very worrying. And
concern.
I think, one of our members made a comment, and I half agree with him that, the industry is changing so quickly, that
Yeah.
the traditional publishers need to pivot to change
They
with
need to
it to
adjust.
stay
Yeah.
relevant. And when my first job out of high school, my dad had a chain of bookstores And so my first job out of high school was to work for him in the bookshop. I absolutely loved it. It's probably my favorite job that I've ever had, and not just because my dad is a really awesome person to
Mm.
work with, but he is. Um, but I mean, he had to eventually. It wasn't a big chain. I think they had 5 stores, 4 or 5 stores, but they eventually had to close down with the advent of ebooks at that point.
Hmm.
Um, and eventually whittled down to one shop, that the main store that stayed open for quite a few years, but eventually that also faded away. But it was very sad to see that, and I think there is a bit of a return to print books coming back into demand with social media, thank
Mm.
goodness. But it's something that the industry as a whole needs to pivot with. People still
Yeah,
want to read
I think
books.
there's,
There's still a space for
yeah,
books to be published. And especially like you
I
also
mean,
mentioned this morning, kids' books. Children shouldn't be reading on a
they
screen.
need physical books. Yeah,
They'll need the physical books. So there's definitely still a market for that. But I think maybe that's also in part because parents are not reading books to their children anymore.
can't afford it. I think so. There's a huge trend overseas at the moment where a lot of people, and I know quite a few, they're actually opening indie bookstores.
Yeah,
So it keeps the cost down because you haven't got all these big overheads of a corporation, and which
yeah,
is all about profit. But when you're talking about kids' books and you're talking about £20 or something for a kid's book,
yeah,
that's insane, you know. And South African books, they're not cheap either. But the market is just pushing out international books.
yeah.
And if you go
And
and look for an
unfortunately,
indie author, it's cheaper.
yeah. And, unfortunately, printing costs are quite high. But like you say, if you're not
Mm,
adding all of those overheads onto it as well, indie authors are often able to make the books available a bit cheaper.
exactly.
So, so
It's,
yeah, my kids are
you know,
also absolutely surrounded by readers. Samantha's making a comment down here. Everybody reads, and in my household, it's the same. And not all of my kids love reading as much as I would like them to, but I read a lot. My husband reads a lot. My mom and dad live in our granny flat, and they also quite enjoy reading a lot of the time. So my kids are surrounded by people who appreciate writing. And that's
yeah,
something that I purposely instill in my children. And I think that's being lost in our culture as a whole, because the
yeah.
TV is
I
just
mean,
so much more convenient.
I wrote some actual personalized kids' books for my grandkids. So
Mm,
they all have. So I've got Melissa and Hugo the Highland cow because they live in Scotland in the middle of
yes,
nowhere with Highland cows. And so there's like this whole adventure book for my daughter to read at night to her, or when
that's
she gets
brilliant.
older, when she can read. And then my other kids that are in Canada, it's all these different, you know,
That's so
things that
special.
makes them feel alive with the reading.
Yes, that's a great idea to personalize it for them like that.
Mm.
But I mean, I tell, you tell bedtime stories. They're getting a bit older now, so they're not asking for the bedtime stories that much anymore. But what I would do as well
Mm.
is I would like involve our pets. So our one dog, our border collie, we
Yeah.
adopted as a 7-month-old. So I fabricated this whole big story about where Gala came from. And for months on end, they would repeatedly ask me, tell us the story about Gala. And now I can't remember the whole story either because I never wrote it down, which I should have. So every time there's a different version coming out. But those are so special. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It's
sad
it's
that that's being
keeping
lost.
that
And yeah, and but
imagination. It's got to keep it alive.
mm, exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, my kids
But
are
on that
my
note,
two oldest are also, sorry, let me just answer her here. My kids are also, my oldest are
mm,
11 and 12. So my 12-year-old is big on Brandon Sanderson. So he gets Audible to tell him his bedtime story for Brandon Sanderson. And my 11-year-old,
that's cool.
she's the one that always asks for the animal stories, like Gala's story. But with her, it's not stories anymore, it's conversations. That's like bedtime is her time to connect with people. So she wants to
That's good.
tell you about your day. And then the 8-year-old just passes out within like 2 minutes. So There's not really stories being told anymore.
Yeah, but
But anyway,
we've got to keep the stories going. We've got to keep kids involved and finding ways, especially South African indie authors for kids. They need to be out there more.
yeah. Yeah, we've got some
Okay.
amazing kids authors, and the books that they're writing are so
I
they
know.
they like actually have value in them. It's not just the wishy-washy story. It's there's lessons in it, and
Yeah,
that's beautiful. That's what kids need.
yeah, exactly. It's story and learning at the same time. So it doesn't
Yes.
feel like it's controlled learning, if that makes sense.
Mm.
But interesting times ahead, so many good things happening. And then you've also got a
Yes.
special on today at the local book club, don't we?
Yes. Yes. So there's a
Mm.
10% discount site-wide, barring the April Book Club book. Unfortunately, that one is already discounted. But everything else is 10% off for today to celebrate World Readers' Day, or what is the official name? Uh,
World Readers
yeah,
Day. Yeah.
World Readers' Day. Yes. So, and the
Yeah.
authors are not being affected by it. That's our gift to the
No,
readers
people must
personally. So,
realize that it's,
yeah,
yeah, the readers and the authors still get their normal cut.
yeah,
So
yeah,
we would never take from them.
yeah. No, definitely. They deserve what they get.
All right.
They've worked hard to put those books there.
They
But
do.
anyway,
Have a great afternoon. It's been fun.
you too.
And
Yes.
yeah, I've got lots to do.
Yeah, my
I
babysitter has
still
just
have
arrived,
editing to
Granny.
finishing.
So I need to, yeah, I also still have editing to do
Mm,
and writing to do. But I have to first go buy chicken food. That's first on the agenda
yeah,
now that Granny's come back. Go into
I'll speak
Joburg.
to you later.
Pray for me.
Oh
All
no.
right.
Enjoy. Speak to you later.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for
Bye.
joining. Bye.